This is Jeff. In this video, we're going to look at how to animate lines. In the last video, we looked at creating lines. And as you might guess, this video is in a series or a playlist called Lines that's going to show how I developed a specific effect for my visual music project. So, in the last module, we created this line. And you can see that it is going a little bit outside of the canvas here, and that's by intention, because what I want it to do ultimately is I want it to kind of move through like that. Now what I also want to do is I want it to animate internally, but well, let's just start with moving it. So first, in order to kind of get this line to animate, I'm going to go ahead and start right here, and I'm going to, in the shape layer itself, add a position keyframe, and then, oops. So I have the position keyframe right here, and then I'm going to add another position keyframe. I'm going to make it 10 seconds in. There's my second position keyframe, and while I'm here in this second position keyframe, I'm going to move it down there so that now in 10 seconds it will move from there to there, which I think is going to kind of do what I want for it to do. Now that's just animating the line itself as a total. I can actually go in and animate parts of the line. So this shape here, I can select the path. Now remember, the path is the actual blue line that generates the stroke and the fill. And so I'm going to add a keyframe here on path, and then maybe 1-2 seconds in. I want this to kind of undulate a little bit. I'm going to do this about every 2 seconds. Maybe that's going to be too much, but I'll do it anyway. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is at each keyframe, I'm going to move a little bit how each one of these lines are generated, just subtly, because I just don't want it to feel totally static. So I'm thinking I'll make it a little sharper on the even numbered ones, or on 2, 6, 10, and then a little flatter and of course I can change anything in this line that I want. Again, I'm making it sharper in every other one. Flatter. Actually, I'll make this last one kind of flat too. All right, so now the line is not only going to move in overall location, but its parts are going to shift. Kind of gives a little pulsing feeling. Nice. So what I think is nice about working with visual music is that music is essentially made out of repeated elements. There's a repeated beat, there's repeated measures, there's repeated choruses, there's repeated verses. And so these different things are things that get repeated, which kind of bring unity to a musical piece. And I think visual music can work a little bit the same way. So here I have this one element, and if I repeat it, I'm going to select this shape layer, and I'm going to duplicate it, duplicate it, duplicate it. Then I'm simply going to take each kind of shape layer and just shift it. They all have the same animation functions on it. And then maybe I'll even shift it in time so they don't like pulse all exactly at the same. And let's just see what kind of effect I get. You can see the line starts to, oh, that's a little jumpy. I don't like the way it ended, but I can see that it actually worked, I think, pretty nicely up until that very end, getting kind of a slightly more surprising sort of graphic. So this is actually a nice way that you can use repetition to get different sorts of effects. In fact, I am so convinced that this is going to do good things that I'm going to try more effects. Like, for example, on shape layer 2, let's just see what else I can do. Here, I'm going to, let's go with my transform. I'll scale it so it's bigger. Maybe I'll rotate it so it has a slightly different rotation. Maybe what I can do with the stroke, just to make it look and feel a little bit different, is to take the stroke width and make it be narrower. And I can just provide some subtle variation on all of these just so that I can really get this sense of kind of organic difference that is, I think, going to be a really nice sort of effect. And I'll actually increase the gap between some of these so they don't match so well. And let's see what we got now. All right, well, you can see that by kind of playing with it, you can get even more and more effects, and you just have to season and play with it until you like it. All right.